But there's a difference between giving citizenship to the children of slaves, the children of those subject to the Middle Passage, the children of sharecroppers, and the children of those who were once considered property, and giving citizenship to the children of people who crossed the border illegally, stay in taxpayer-funded luxury hotels. There's a big difference. My great-great-grandfather was born on a plantation, Rosedown Plantation in Louisiana. He had to join the Union Color Guard to gain his freedom. By morphing the citizenship clause into something that it wasn't meant to be, it's demeaning to descendants of slaves like me. We are talking about a direct descendant of a slave that earned the right to be in this country and passed that ilk down to his ancestry. People bled for it, and it means something.
Yes, again, the purpose of the 14th Amendment, the primary purpose, I should say, was to give free slaves citizenship, equal protection under the law, to make them part of the American fabric. It was not designed for people to come over here and start popping out children as a way to have a tie to this country. And there was no real way for the founding fathers to predict 250 years out what the world would look like, what immigration would look like, and all those things. So there's nothing unreasonable about saying, hey, if you're not here legally and you're not here on like being a legal permanent resident and you have a child here, that child is not automatically a citizen. There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually protecting the value of being an American citizen. It makes it much harder for becoming an American citizen to be something that you can just game into existence with your family. If it was left up to Democrats, they leave the borders wide open and they think everybody should just be a citizen if they're born here, which then leaves our country vulnerable to other nations because they know they can game that system. There's nothing wrong with tightening up what allows someone to become a US citizen. You'll notice if you pay attention to Democrats, they rarely make a distinction between legal and illegal immigrants. They just say immigrants. Because if they actually make a distinction between legal and illegal immigrants, reasonable people will say, okay, well, yes, illegal immigrants should not be here and legal immigrants should be allowed to be here. They don't want people being reasonable. They want people manipulated into thinking that Republicans hate all immigrants. And that's why they make no distinction when there is very clearly a distinction. People operate off of incentive structures. We need to make sure that we are not incentivizing people to come here illegally and just pop out children. Again, that is not what the 14th Amendment was designed for. And I think if you're being a reasonable person, you can be like, yeah, it probably wasn't designed for that. Again, it was for my ancestors, for example. Again, that was the primary reason. If one of your parents are an American citizen, you should be a citizen. I'm even okay if you're here as a legal permanent resident and you have a child, they can be a citizen. You went through, you did things the right way. But if you come here and break the law, you shouldn't be rewarded with your child having citizenship because you broke our laws. That's backwards. Don't forget I have a free email newsletter. I send that out every morning around 7 a.m. Central. The link is in my profile. You'll see the screen right here. Just drop